Two contrasting images bring out the meaning of the readings of today. The first is this: an advertisement company offered as its first prize a 2-week paid holiday on an island. The winner would be the one who had the most money on the day that he or she died. The second is this: a televised interview with a man who had lost all his possessions in a raging fire which was driven by strong winds somewhere in the world provides us a striking contrast to the rich fool that we will hear about in the gospel of today. Shortly before the fire, this man recalled that his brother had mused that they should be careful not to allow their possessions to possess them. Seeing everything he owned but the shirt on his back go up in smoke, he said to the reporter with a note of unexpected triumph, "I am a free man now." The gospel text and the first reading of today are emphatic. We can take nothing with us. We leave everything when we leave. The story is told of a very, very rich man who had died. And one of the mourners asked the other, "How much did he leave?" The other replied, tongue in cheek, "He left everything. He left everything." Both the gospel and the first reading speak of a person so possessed of his possessions that he allows his possessions to possess him. So deep is the man's self-centeredness that he can only think in terms of my crops, my barns, my grain, my goods, and finally, my soul. This selfishness is what comes to haunt this man at the end. His possessions have claimed him, they have controlled him, they have used him. The illusion that properties and riches are inalienable and absolute is stripped away by the inalienable and the absolute reality of death. The man did not seem to enjoy the riches when he was alive, and another will own and possess those same riches after his death. This fact is made absolutely clear when not once in his soliloquy does the rich man of the gospel think that he could give away out of the abundance that he possesses. His concern is only to build bigger barns to store for his sole benefit the bounties that he receives. This very clearly, according to the first reading of today, is vanity. Such a person is restless in the day and unable to sleep at night. Such a person is worried in the day and anxious at night. An antidote to this way is suggested by St. Paul in the second reading of today. He invites the Colossians to be concerned not merely or firstly about earthly things, but to seek the things that are above. This heavenly mindedness is not to be understood as a form of inattentiveness about the things of this life. On the contrary, because one is first concerned about heaven, it will drive and motivate any believer to put things in perspective. Believers will strive to live a life fully on earth, one moment of one day at a time. And in some of these moments, while they will think of themselves, in others, they will also think of others. This kind of life means that one is not obsessed or fixated on the future. Seeking the things above does not mean reduction of the Christian hope to a pie in the sky when you die. It means putting to death in oneself everything that is selfish and self centered, especially insatiability, which reveals itself in making things ends in themselves and gives things the status of a God. To seek the things that are above means seeking Jesus and his way of proceeding. His way of proceeding always put the other before the self. His way of proceeding is always concerned to share not only from one's bounty, but even from the little one may have. The challenge of the readings of today is an enormous one. We live in a world in which the larger majority live not in the present or the now, but mainly in the future or tomorrow. It is also a world in which having more is the criterion by which success and failure are defined and judged. The more one has, the more successful one is regarded to be. Thus, there is in many an obsession to keep accumulating, even at the expense sometimes and discomfort of others. They want bigger cars, bigger homes, bigger everything and anything simply because they have been taught to believe that bigger is always better. They are like the fool in the first reading of today and in the gospel of today who will not share their bounty with anyone and who will never be satisfied no matter how much they accumulate. They die without ever having lived. Yet, there is also another way. Jesus has not only shown us this way, he is this way. He is the way of selflessness, of self sacrifice, and living contentedly in the present moment with no regrets but learning from the past and no obsession, though planning for the future. He is the way in which being more and spending oneself in service of others means more than egocentric, inconsiderate, and uncaring living. He is the way in which success and failure are measured not in terms of how much one possesses, but in how much one dares to give away. He is the way which does not die but lives forever. Are we being challenged today to follow that way? Will we have the courage to follow that way? I pray that we will. Amen.